Sorry, did someone order a sink?
A sink.
Do we have a sink?
Ta-da!
Hi guys, I'm Max and this is Sophie and welcome back to our van build.
This week we are making some massive changes in our van. We're going to be finally fitting the countertops. I've been spending days sanding and staining.
Weeks?
Probably weeks of my life. We're also going to try and tackle all of our cladding. So fingers crossed we make it in time for Sunday.
Let's go.
Let's go. It is Monday, we are back at the van and we have a special guest this week.
Hello.
This is Bronte, this is Max's sister, and she is a whiz with DIY.
Yeah, sure.
So we're gonna try and do some cladding. So Bronte has a special delivery from Max's dad. She's brought back our saw, well, Max's dad's saw. So we are able to chop down our battens for behind our cladding.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah!
So the tone groove that we're putting onto this face is nice and easy because our shower frame is already all timbered out with lots of supports. So we're going to hold a bit of tone groove up and pin it in either side. And that's that. On this side, we need to add in a little bit of wood just to fire those pins into. So we're going to screw this through into the ribs like we've done with all the other things. So that's going to go there and there. And that's going to be the supports for this section of tongue and groove. Hold on, she's a professional. So now that we have our verticals in place, I am doing some measurements for the horizontal tongue and groove slats. So we're starting on this face and then we're going to work around the shower, bathroom, box and all that kind of stuff. And while I'm doing that, Bronte is outside measuring them, passing them to Sophie, who is cutting them on the chop saw, labelling them up and getting them in a pile ready for when we install them all. I'm going to put the kettle on.
Thank you, please, tea.
Would you like a tea?
So we now have some of our uprights in. And then we hit a bit of a glitch because we don't have the right sized nails for the nail gun again. So we're gonna have to order some more, but they then don't come for like 24 to 48 hours. So we were like, oh, we'll just do more of the cladding. We'll just cut the cladding down to size and then like have it all stacked ready to go. But then we realized we needed to have the countertops, so we knew exactly how high that needed to be. So the countertops are kind of half in now. It's all been a bit of a mess today, but we're getting there. We've got some nice piles of cladding now cut, ready to go. And yeah, when those nails arrive, there's gonna be no stopping us.
We're all going today while we are waiting for our nails so we can actually start our cladding. Sophie's dad, Jason.
He's trying to put the end cap on this cupboard, which is potentially the hardest job
Which has an angle this way, this way, this way, and then like bits out for the ceiling, but none of these are actually 90 degrees or square. So that's fun.
Because we're master builders over here. My mum is doing some carpeting for us. What is that face for?
As you can tell, very happy to be on camera.
We are carpeting up the back edge of the van because our cladding's going to come sort of here, and then it has an angled return piece, and it is much easier to carpet than to clad. So we're doing that on both sides, here and here, and then our cladding's going to come. Ooh, one of the last props will come in here, and we'll get a nice straight edge, wooden edge on that piece there. Max is trying to figure out the windows and how we're going to put in like a window frame, and we have round windows and square wood, so good luck with that.
And then hopefully tomorrow our nails for our nail gun will have arrived and we can attach up all of the cladding on all of the walls.
The next thing we need to do to be able to put the cladding in is to make sure our countertops are fitted in the right places. So we need to take out a little bit of a nick from the end near the toilet box, and that's going to help us fit the countertop in straight.
We are looking at installing this countertop, which is more difficult than the one on the other side. It has to have a cutout for the sink, which is going to be an insert that we can put back in. It's going to have the end cut off and hinge down as this kind of countertop extension, but it's currently blocking where we're going to get in and out of the van. And we also need to cut the square out for where the oven and hob is going to go. So we're just going to do lots of marking up and measuring first.
This is potentially the scariest job we've done so far.
No!
I'm terrified!
Electrics. Oh, that was hard.
Electric, yeah, but electrics was Max getting shocked, not me.
Oh, gee, thanks.
So we've drawn around the sink and we are now measuring in 1 centimetre around the whole edge of it so that our cutout piece can rest back in on top of the sink and it doesn't fall into the sink. We have our lines and now is the moment of truth. How confident are you feeling, Max? Fairly.
And so you should.
Might lift out. Have we cut through the biscuits?
Yeah.
Shall I demonstrate it so?
Demonstrate for me, Mum. It's gone. Magic.
It's back.
It's back.
It's the heaviest chopping board in the world.
Well done, Max.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic. First hole was a success.
We think.
We think we haven't actually.
It's not in yet.
We haven't actually put it in.
No. It's a good hole.
Success.
It's a success. Second hole is for the oven. So that's happening now. Heaviest sink in the universe. Last big cut of the day is the flap for our big countertop. I'm sticking the sink down. Using more EBT sticker flicks. This stuff is literally holding together half of our van now.
Concentration. Is that alright?
Yeah, that looks
No,
good.
it's slipping.
Oh. You have a sink.
We have a sink stuck in, not yet dry. So we're going to let that go off overnight, and tomorrow we are going to look at staining the edges of the countertop where we cut it. We can then start cladding on the walls down to where the countertop comes to. So we had a really great day yesterday with Sophie's parents' help getting our countertop kind of in, cut, which was a bit nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
It was the most terrifying thing I've ever done.
This morning, Sophie is going to start by, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna sand down the cut edges of the countertop now because we have to restain and make sure it's all looking delightful again.
And while Sophie's doing that, I'm going to finish all the prep work for our tongue and groove on the walls, and our nails are now ready to collect, so we can do that.
Yeah, we've just arrived to the lockup and then we got the text to say your screw fix order is
Please come and collect them now.
here.
So, bad timing.
Bad timing.
We've got some work to do anyway, and then we will go pick them up and get the walls in.
I can't actually believe how little is left. I spent so long making this countertop and now we've chopped everything out of it. But it's all in aid of a good cause. Now I'm going to do basically what I did for the tops of the counters on these little side bits now. Just going to sand down, try and create a nice smooth edge, maybe round off the top slightly on the cut pieces, and then stain them a couple times. So I better get all my different grits of sandpaper out. so I'm back to staining. I've got to remember my exact combination of stains that I used. So wish me luck.
So many layers. Today's the day. What's arrived?
The nails have arrived.
That means we can fit our countertops in that Sophie stained yesterday and start on this cladding.
Finally, it's taken us all week to do the one thing we were going to do this week, but we have cut lots of things down, so I think it's
Yeah, we've prepped as much as we can.
Quite quickly now.
So we're about to see. Let's find out.
Exciting.
We have a rough bit of countertop and some timber frame here, and we're just looking at the right screw sizes to screw in from the underside and attach it in place. So we're gonna get the countertop back into the van for the final time, which is a nice feeling after lugging it in and out 100 times, and then we'll start screwing it down in place. The final time, a hell of a lot lighter than it was when it had where the oven was, where the sink was, and the flap on the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a third longer again. We have our countertop in place. We've put our sink section back in so that when we screw in, we don't accidentally move the thinner arms and then make it so we can't actually put our insert back in. And then we will, I guess, get to drilling. Bit nervous. Oh my god.
It's in.
Oh my god.
It's in.
It's in. And it's not going anywhere, and
I think it looks really nice.
It didn't crack and break, which I thought it might do. So yeah.
We're very happy.
We're so happy. And look, no sink. Sink.
As if by magic.
It all looks so good.
Is it a big enough sink?
It's a huge sink, but it's our sink and I love it.
So now that's in, let's go on with some cladding, eh?
Yes, cladding must happen.
Boom. So we've got our hands on this nail gun, which we've used for a few things, but it's going to make this job nice and easy. It's a gas-powered one, and we have some little 19mm, tiny little nails for it. We have our back vertical sections that are in, and our 8mm cladding, and that is how we're going to attach them, and only leaving a tiny little hole left for us to fill. That's one small bit. Now we just need to do
everything else. Ooh, mama.
It's nice, dude. Very nice. So we have this net section just very roughly held in place because we've had to do a bit of an intricate cut around here, and we just need to cut some shorter ones to work our way up to the ceiling, and then we'll look at fixing that in place next.
So this wall is all cut down to size now. We haven't actually attached this, and we haven't attached it because we're going to focus on this front face of the toilet box, because on the corners we want it to kind of tuck behind this one, so we're going to put that one on and then make sure we've basically scribed the edge perfectly so that it kind of covers any of the imperfections in the wood. So we're going to do our top section here, which is what Max is cutting right now, and we'll go from there. Oh my god, it's looking like an actual house all of a sudden.
It is. I'm really liking the look of it.
Me too.
The whole vibe. So this is the awkward top piece with the cutouts and the tongue cut off the top and everything that gets us all square and level. And once we get that in theory, we can use these pre-cut by Sophie and Bronte pieces the other day to just work our way down the square walls. So 1 and 2. So we need to get this one right, and then the rest should be breezy. The final piece of cladding of the day.
It's crazy how different it looks. Oh my god.
Just the being lighter and brighter. Feels really nice. I like it, do you?
Yeah, obviously we need to finish this. This edge hasn't been finished yet.
It's a bit wonky.
Oh my god.
I tell you what, if we were hammering this in by hand or screwing it in, it would take time.
Massive thank you to Max's dad for the loan of the nail gun.
Again.
Yeah, saved our life with that one. So I went to B&Q this morning and picked up some of this plastic corner piecing that I hope we're going to be able to do our windows with, but Max has informed me that maybe I should have bought something wooden.
No, I think it'll work.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's an angle, and it's a 90-degree angle, which is a good starting place for everything.
It's also a lot cheaper than the wooden angle, so it's a cheap angle, and that was kind of my main priority. We'll see if we can make it work. So these are our window sill pieces. They're going to create a really neat edge for our windows up here. We should be able to then finish our cladding. Window frames are now in undercoat. They're really complicated. Has anyone else found window frames to be really super complicated? We're going to now paint them in our proper paint so they kind of blend into the cladding, and then we'll put them in. So of course, as all things, cladding isn't as simple as just cutting some pieces down and nailing them in. We're having to run this section here because that then influences how high up this section is, and obviously the roof is also wavy, so we're having to deal with that as well. It is kind of like juggling with a million balls at the same time, but we're getting there, we're getting there.
Oosh.
You're not in it. It's just your boobs. You're still not in it.
Ah. Is that there?
Yeah, there.
Yeah. Bian. Look! Stuff's going in!
The windows are happening.
And the cladding's going down the wall very, very slowly.
I'm not very good at remembering numbers, so by the time I've measured this side and then gone outside to the saw, if I haven't written it down, I've got them all jumbled up.
But then you cut it anyway.
And it was wrong.
And then you come back and measure again.
Yeah, it's fine.
Ooh. Ah.
1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4.
1314.
I cut it at 1m13 earlier, like a fool.
But you're a fool.
Sure.
If you think she is or isn't a fool, please give this video a thumbs up.
We were just gonna say I'm a fool.
I think you're smashing it. Look at that precision. See if it fits. It was 113 something, right?
1, 3, 1. Leave me alone. Well, it's to the middle of the right pillar, so I'm gonna take that.
Good. Oh, that couldn't be better. In theory, if these were always the same length, we should end up somewhere there. If this is straight. Nothing's straight. So while Sophie's been working away down the wall with the cladding, I've been sitting and staring at this window that I've just about got in a position where we're ready to add in some extra wood. So I've got the timber frame on the inside all the way around, and we can now put our bits that we've painted and got ready in, nail them down in place, and that should tidy this whole section around the window up. Is that the final bit?
It's the final bit for this bit.
Final bit for this bit.
This bit.
Look at that hole disappearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wall.
That's a wall. That's an actual wall.
Show me a happy face. Good. So there is our cream little strips of wood attached around the window, making it all a bit neater. And now the last thing to do on this side is to attach our angle trim around the edge, just to neaten it all up. So I've just got a selection of this black angled stuff cut down with some 45 degrees in it. So I'm going to throw it into there and hopefully it all slots together. So it's all pretty snug, but that is just loosely fitted in there. I'm pretty happy with that. We've just tidied up these cables that are going to be hidden away forever before we do our cladding over here. And we're also going to have to do a cutout for our light switch here, which two-way controls our general kind of lighting in the van, our lighting over our bedroom area, and also a super secret hidden fairy light switch, which is gonna happen later in the process. So it's a new day and I'm hoping we can get the cladding finished as well as our second countertop, which is that one over there, secured down in place. So we have this end near our cooker to go in, and we're just waiting to install some additional timber to support the shower head on the inside of the bathroom before we clad this. And then we have this end, the other end of the bathroom box to do, as well as that final wall and around the window. I've done all my measuring up, and luckily Sophie pre-cut all these lengths for this wall that you can't see, that's here, the opposite of that one, yesterday. So I just need to work my way up, work up to the window and nail them in, and then we'll work out this window when we get there. So just before we cover up our final wall forever, we thought we'd leave a little message for any future owners, or if we end up taking the wall down, a little message to ourselves.
Just gonna say, put that thing back where it came from. Oh, so help me. What's the date? We'll sign the date.
What have you written?
I said, Max and Sophie built this van. Please look after her. We hope you love her as much as we do. Keep driving forward. We're gonna cover it over forever and ever. And touch wood, you'll never be seen again. Unless the window leaks.
Shh, don't say that. Good job.
Cover her over.
So we have now clad up here as far as the window and just roughly cut out, like we did on the other side, about where the window is. The next step is to start building up this secondary frame that we're using 14mm timber for, which is what our little 3mm strips then actually nail into. And once we've done that, we look at the final black angled capping that we do around the edge. And there we have all of our trim pieces attached into our window frame, boxing it in. The final stage is to use some black corner trim, like we've done over on the other side. I'll cut that and roughly put that in here, and then all we're going to do is, before we fix them in place and we're going to stick them down, we'll take them out, cork up all the joins just to cover any rough edges, and then stick the trim down with some kind of adhesive or something like that. Our final section of cladding to do, which again Sophie has pre-cut all down ready for us, is this end of the bathroom section. Someone's just popped to see how I've been getting on. What do you think of this wall?
It looks good. Looks very good.
More convincing?
Looks amazing. Wow.
So we're going to do this one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what have you done to make our life easier?
Cut it all already.
Yeah! So we've got a little production line going on here where I hold it up and scribe the end, and then pass it out to Sophie to do the cutting. She passes it back in, I slot it in, mark the end, pass it back out for Sophie to cut it, bring it in, nail it in place, and move on to the next one.
Worst jigsaw person in the world.
You have to do it to practice and improve. So as we're getting up to our light switch, I've got Sophie just to notch out of this, and I'm going to get to notch out of the above one. For the switch. Who's noisy?
Me.
Always.
Very nice. Last day of cladding. Last day. We're gonna smash it.
We are.
The most complicated piece of cladding ever. It has to do...
Just go up, or on an angle, up, down, and then flush, but then also route out a bit on the back for this cable to sit within and end up looking something like that.
Fun times.
Ta-da!
It looks so good. Oh my god.
Cladding. There is our window and the end of our bathroom. Is that a cheesy grin I see?
I think it looks awesome. I can't wait to like be asleep in there and have it all around us looking so good. It's gonna be great.
Not long.
Not long.
So it's time to get this countertop set exactly where we want it and fix it in place. Hey, what's that?
We have a countertop. We have 2 countertops. Solid, solid, not going anywhere. Good.
Final wall?
Final wall.
Then what?
Let's go. Then what?
We can call it a week.
Yay! So I've bought the biggest and most sort of ungainly shower head in the world. Because I'm like that. Which means we're gonna have to fit like a really random positioned shower head holder mount kind of in the middle of our shower. It's all good. And we're gonna put a bit of wood in on the other side just to support it, and then we can clad.
See the spray?
Yeah. Anyone else seem to notice that the last ones are always the hardest? Like I just want to get them in now. And we can't! We're having to recut ones that we thought we'd already got right. So it's a bit annoying. So I'm a bit fed up. I'm going to drink tea and watch Max do it. Because I can't be arsed anymore.
Luckily I can be.
He's got a cup of tea as well.
I do have a cup of tea. And I just stuffed my face with biscuits, so I'm fine.
He's fine.
The final piece!
Final piece! Final piece!
Let's get it in the right way round.
This way?
Yeah.
Oh!
Wow. Boom.
Final nail was old school.
It's done. Cladding is complete. And that is all of our cladding and our countertops finished.
Yay! It is amazing to have it done. It looks so different in here. It is a really big step forward, I think, for us.
Yeah,
So
it looks so different.
thank you for joining us whilst we did it. It was a bit of a pain in the bum, but we're done now. And it looks so good.
We got there.
Comment if you have any thoughts and feelings about our new look van. And subscribe if you are new around here and you fancy joining us for the last little bit of our van build. And I guess we'll see you next week. Bye!